Hey everybody, welcome to Crack-A-Pack Tuesday number 50 on the Mana Leak. I'm John as always, and this is it. This is the Expedition Pack. This is the last pack of Oath of the Gatewatch that we're going to be opening because, of course, we've been inundated with Shadows over Innistrad spoilers, and the set review is going to be coming this Friday. Will be the first white set review for Shadows over Innistrad, and we'll forget all about Zendikar. We'll forget all about the Gatewatch's victory over the Eldrazi Titans, and we'll move on to the land of Gothic horror. But we're going to open this pack, and we're going to discuss how quickly we would take the expedition that's in the back of this pack. I know there's no expedition. I know my hopes are way too high, but we're going to open this pack and see what we would take. Pack one, pick one. Up first, we have ourselves an Abstruse Interference. Abstruse Interference is 2 and a blue for an instant. It has Devoid, and it says counter target spell unless its controller pays 1 generic mana. You put a 1/1 colorless Eldrazi Scion creature token onto the battlefield. It has blah, 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 the usual stuff. Yeah, this is a bad card. This is a bad card. Force Spike is okay. If you make it cost 3 mana, it's much less good. By the time you cast this, your opponent generally can pay 1. The number of times that I've had an opponent sadly cast this and know that I'm going to pay for it just to get a 1/1 is far too high. Far too high. Don't take this card very highly. Play it as like a 24th card. You really don't want to be playing Abstruse Interference. Next up, we have Spark Mage's Gambit. Spark Mage's Gambit is 1 and a red for a sorcery. Spark Mage's Gambit deals 1 damage to up to 2 target creatures. Those creatures can't block this turn. It's kind of a sideboard card. You don't want to main deck this. If you see a bunch of X1s, you can put this down. If your opponent's all in on Core Scythe Masters, yeah, you can side this in. If you really need to get through blockers, if you need to get through a Tide Drifter or a Fortified Rampart, yeah, this card's fine. But it's not a high pick. It's certainly not a first pick, and it's not a main deck card either. Speaking of X1s, we have Core Scythe Master. Core Scythe Master is a 2 and a white 3/1 that has first strike as long as it's attacking. Totally fine creature, not first pickable in all but the weakest of packs, and we've never seen a pack that weak. Last week was close, but generally we're never going to first pick this. We're probably always going to main deck it, but we're not going to first pick it. Next up, we have Loam Larva. Loam Larva is 1 and a green for a creature insect. It's a 1/3, and when it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, then shuffle your library and put that card on top of it. This is way too damn slow. Way too slow. If this went to hand, sure, I would play these. But going on top of my library, wasting an entire draw step to get a land, not my cup of tea. Not my cup of tea at all. I have not played a Loam Larva. I do not want to ever play Loam Larvas. I will never pick them. I will never first pick them. So go away, Loam Larva. Next up, we have Slaughter Drone. Slaughter Drone is 1 and a black for a creature Eldrazi drone. It's a 2/2. It has Devoid. And for a single colorless mana, you can give it Death Touch. Death Touch is awesome. A 2/2 with Death Touch, the on demand for 1 mana is great. You need to have colorless sources, of course. Make sure that you are in a somewhat colorless deck, that you do have some holdout settlements or Kozilek's Translators or Warden of Geometries or Cultivator Drones or something to generate colorless mana, but this is great. It's also totally fine even if you don't have it. It's a 2/2 for 2. It's a 2/2 for 2, which is always playable, always fine. It's a hallmark of draft decks. Not first pickable in any way, shape, or form, though. Just super main deckable. Next up, we have Hedron Crawler. Hedron Crawler is 2 generic mana for an artifact creature construct. It's an 0/1. You can tap it to add a colorless mana to your mana pool, perhaps to pay for a Slaughter Drone's activation. Hedron Crawler is really good. I like Hedron Crawlers quite a bit. I would almost consider first picking them in super weak packs, and I do take them a little bit more highly than most, and I play them in almost every deck. Outside of the most aggressive decks ever, I would play a Hedron Crawler, because ramping on turn 2 is a solid play. Making an opponent waste a removal spell on a Hedron Crawler feels really good. Yeah, Hedron Crawler, like it quite a bit. Hopefully it's not our first pick, but we'll see. Next up, we have Tar Snare. Tar Snare is 2 and a black for an instant. Target creature gets -3/-2 until end of turn. I like Tar Snare quite a bit. A lot of people are down on it. I don't know why. Yeah, there's a lot of 2/4s. Yeah, there's a lot of 2/3s, but -3/-2 is huge. You know, yeah, it doesn't outright kill things by casting it, but the number of times that I've used this in combat, to kill a 2/4 by making it a -1/2 is huge. Tar Snare is great. I love it. It's instant speed. It's not sorcery speed. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Tar Snare. I would first pick it in a weak pack. But again, hopefully it's not that weak of a pack. Next up, we have Stalking Drone. Stalking Drone is 1 and a green for a creature Eldrazi drone. It's a 2/2 with Devoid. You can pay a colorless to give it +1/+2 one time, so it can become a 3/4 for a colorless mana. Totally fine, just like Slaughter Drone. It's a 2/2 for 2 at the absolute worst, and if you can activate it, it becomes that much better. I would never first pick it, but I would generally always main deck it. Next up, we have a Cinder Hellion. Cinder Hellion is 4 and a red for a 4/4 trample that when it enters the battlefield, it shocks your opponent. It deals 2 to their face. Totally fine. Totally fine. Really good in the red-green kind of monsters, stompy sort of deck. I have played many of these to really good effect. But it's not super first pickable. It's a 5-drop, which is pretty pricey. This is something you want to take a little bit later when you're kind of feeling out where your deck's going to go. It's not where you want to lead off with in your first pick. So not first pickable, but super main deckable. Next up, we have a Wastes. Don't waste a pick on Wastes. It's not good. There are so many other colorless sources of mana, such as Hedron Crawler, or Holdout Settlement, or Crumbling Vestige, or anything else. You only take a Wastes if you find yourself really struggling to get colorless mana, and this is all that's coming around. Make sure there is nothing else in the pack for you to take a Wastes. Do not waste a pick on Wastes. Next up, we've got Grip of the Royal. Grip of the Royal is 2 and a blue for an instant at uncommon. You can search it for 1 and a blue. You get a whole single mana discount if you've already cast a spell. And target creature, you tap target creature. It doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. Draw a card. This is fine, but it's not fantastic. This effect is much better on a creature. You know, Frostlinks was great. This significantly less great. I would never first pick this, and I rarely even main deck it. I would have to be in a super aggressive deck, and unfortunately, blue doesn't really support that in this format. So kind of out on Grip of the Royal. Next up, we have Chitinous Cloak. Chitinous Cloak is 3 generic mana for an artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has menace. The equip cost is 3. Not a fan. I don't like equipment. You all know I don't like equipment. Most of you don't like equipment, as you should. Equipment has to be incredible. It needs to be swords. It needs to be a whole bunch of the living weapons that exist. It needs to be good. This is not good. This costs too much. It doesn't do enough. Just not good. Not worth a card slot. Not worth a turn to play it, and maybe even a turn to equip it. Just not worth it. Next up, we have Stoneforge Acolyte. Stoneforge Acolyte is a single white mana for a creature, core, artificer, ally at uncommon. It's a 1/2. It's got cohort. Tap, tap, an untapped ally you control. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal an equipment card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Terrible, 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 terrible. 1/2s for 1 aren't playable. 1/2s for 1 with terrible abilities really aren't playable. There is no equipment in this entire format that I desperately want to tutor up. Not even tutor, but hopefully dig for maybe with this terrible card. So no Stoneforge Acolyte. Our rare, and the pile's looking pretty small, I don't think there's an expedition behind it, is Ailey, Eternal Pilgrim. Ailey is a white-black legendary creature core cleric. She's a 2/3, she has Death Touch. For a single generic mana and sacrificing another creature, you can gain life equal to the sacrificed creature's toughness. For 1 white-black, sacrifice another creature, you can exile target non-land permanent as long as you have at least 10 more life than your starting life total. So in a regular 1v1 duel game, as long as you have 30 life or more. This is really tough to get off. If you're in the black-white life gain deck, then yeah, you might be able to get there. Keep in mind, your opponent's going to be hitting you. Your opponent's not going to let you just get to 30 life. They're going to be doing stuff. But if you can get there, this becomes pretty good if you have a whole bunch of creatures to sack. But that's asking a lot. This is way too build around me for me to feel super comfortable with for that second ability. This is Commander. You know, you build a black-white tokens deck, and this is your commander, and you do broken things. But that being said, she's a 2/3 Death Touch for 2. That's really good. That's really, really, really good. Those stats are fantastic. This is going to hold off a ton of your opponent's attacks. This is going to make your opponent not attack until like turn 5 or 6 or 7. So I do like Ailey. I like her quite a bit. I would consider first picking her. Underneath Ailey, we have an island. We have a zombie. Absolutely no expedition packs opened. I have not opened one in any of the boxes that I've opened, in any of the drafts that I've done at my store. I've not opened any online. I've not opened any in any Crack-A-Packs. Absolutely zero expeditions across Battle for Zendikar or with the Gatewatch. Womp womp, poor me. So first pick, we're looking at Ailey, Eternal Pilgrim. We're looking at, wow, not much else. We're looking at Tarsnare and Hedron Crawler. This is a weak pack. This is one of the weaker packs that I've seen. At least last week was kind of interesting discussion. This one, I don't think it's terribly interesting. I think we just take Ailey. I don't think there's much else going on there. Tarsnare is removal, but it is weakish removal. Hedron Crawler is a really weak first pick. So I think I'm just going to take Ailey. Definitely let me know what you would have taken there. Definitely let me know. Would you have just gone in on Ailey, even though she's 2 colors? Would you have taken the Hedron Crawler to go in any deck? Would you have taken the Tarsnare Stalking Drone? Something else, let me know in the comments below. You can also let me know by clicking the little eye in the top right-hand corner. You'll get a little poll, and you can vote on the poll there. Or do both. Definitely do both. I encourage that. Interactivity is fantastic. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, let me know. You can find me on Twitter at The Mana Leak. That's L-E-E-K, like the vegetable, not the card. And you can also find me on Facebook at facebook.com/The Mana Leak. You've already found me here on YouTube. You've got the comment section down below. Please make use of that. As well, if you enjoy my videos, click that little thumbs up icon. That lets me know that you like the videos. That lets the world know that you like the videos and keeps my videos rising up through the ranks. Finally, you should subscribe. If you haven't, you really should, right now especially. There's a little link below each video. There's one in the outro of each video, and that will let you know when the latest Crack-A-Packs go up, when the latest Wacky Wednesdays go up, Top 10 Thursdays, Spiky Saturdays, or most importantly, this Friday, the first Shadows over Innistrad set reviews. And then Saturday and Sunday and Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, all the set reviews for Shadows over Innistrad will be coming up this weekend and early next week. So you want to know the second those go up so you can start watching them. They're long videos, so you want to know as soon as they go up. So make sure that you do subscribe. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, let me know. Otherwise, I will see you all next time.